Yes, sir. Tiger fans, what's up? It's your boy LSU Fan Dan coming at you again with another episode of the Go Blue Sports Podcast, hosted by LSU Fan Dan. Again, I'm just only half of the dynamic duo of Coach Lynch and LSU Fan Dan, man. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Shout out to you. Appreciate you guys for being here. We got a lot to cover. Won't take me long. Just want to see how you guys feel about some things. Let me know in the comment section. On YouTube, again, Go Blue Sports Podcast, LSU Fan Dan. On TikTok, it's LSU Fan Dan 1. On Instagram, it's LSU_Fan Dan. Hit me up, y'all. Hit me up in the comment section, bro. I love to interact, man. It's been such an amazing thing since I've started this channel. You know, I've met some amazing people, great people in the comment section, you know, just in the TikTok world in general, Instagram world in general. I thank you guys. You know what I'm saying? Tune in with me. Help me out, man. The more the merrier. Again, like I said, I love to interact. But, you know, we're going to get straight down to business, man. A lot has went on past week. Big things. By, of course, the ultimate bad guy, Lane Kiffin, Coach Lane Kiffin, the newly acquired head coach of the LSU Tigers. It's going to be big, y'all. You know, it's going to be huge, people. But, you know, I'm going to digress for a second because we found out today that the LSU Tigers will be in the Texas Bowl again on December 27th against the Houston Cougars. Talking about a home game for the Houston Cougars. But second year in a row for the LSU Tigers going to the Texas Bowl. Again, disappointing season, you know, to say the least, for all the talent and, you know, potential, you know, big-time players that we acquired in the transfer portal. You know, and we see how the season went. You know, I'm not going to go over that again. But, you know, shout out to the Tigers. You know, I'm still going to be holding this down. I'm not going to be able to go to the game this year. I will be home with family around that time. You know, but kudos to the Tigers, to the Bayou Bengals for making a bowl game. You know, we're not going to cop out like some programs I know. You know, we're not going to cop out. We're going to play the game. We're going to try our best to beat the Houston Cougars. But again, we will see. Good luck to the Tigers in that, you know. But I want to divulge from that. Again, congrats on the bowl game. I want to look towards the future, man. This episode, I'm going to delve into the future because Lane Kiffin is impressing me day by day. Day by day. And he's showing us that we can really expect a top-tier program within day one. And I'm going to show some points and give you, let you guys know why we should expect a big season next year by the LSU Tigers. And I'm going to go over the early signing period, the commits that we did get, a couple flips, you know what I'm saying? To say that we don't have many commits, we have the right commits, the perfect commits, the commits that Lane Kiffin wanted to make sure that he kept committed to the program, committed to the game plan of next season. We're going to hit the ground running, man, as early as January. That's transfer portal. We got to get this offense together, offensive line. We're going to need some pieces on offensive line in the transfer portal. You know, just to name a couple positions. I'm going to be real. We're going to need a running back or two in the transfer portal. We may need one or two receivers, big-time receivers out of the portal. And, of course, quarterback. Will Lane Kiffin go after a quarterback? I really think he will. It's going to be some big-time names, that we know of just now. And who knows who can jump in the portal around that time. But, we will see. Lane Kiffin is the portal king. He's going to demonstrate that this year in January, guys. So we're going to have the money. We're going to see how he works with it, who he acquires, who he brings onto the program, who's a good fit. We're going to see Lane Kiffin work, y'all guys. We're going to see Lane Kiffin work. He's going to show us why he's the portal king. Because what he did at Ole Miss was nothing short of amazing. And I'm pretty sure he can go above that here at LSU. But I digress, man. I'm going to get into a couple names, just a couple commits, man, that were pretty important, pretty big to our future success. And a couple players that I believe should stay on the program and not hit the portal. So give me a sec. I got my handy dandy. I got to find my handy dandy notebook somewhere around here. Give me a second. Excuse me. Okay, I found it. Found it, guys. Let me hit that again.
Perfect.
Lane Kiffin doing his thing, man. In a week, he's done more. And I'm not bagging on the guy. In a week, he's done way more to me in my eyes to uplift this program in a week than Brian Kelly has done his entire tenure. I'm going to digress on that. If I'm wrong, hit me up in the comment section. In a week, Lane Kiffin has been able to show the Tiger fans, the Tiger boosters, big potential in this program. Within a week, guys, within a week, with the coaches he's retained, with the staff that he brought with him, it can be an elite staff. But, again, firstly, I'm going to go over the recruiting signing of the early signing day. So just to name a few people, guys, just to name a few. At wide receiver, Braden Allen, wide receiver, big time commitment. Corey Barber, big time, another wide receiver. Jabari Mack, big time receiver out of Louisiana. Come on, guys. He's doing what he needs to be done. Oh, my God. Martinez, offensive lineman, much needed. He's going to be developed. He's going to become a star. I really believe Lane Kiffin is going to get this offensive line to where it needs to be. Hopefully, none of the guys that had a tough season this year, I'm hoping most of them stay, man. Get developed. Get better. We can be a great offensive line. There are a lot of young pieces on the line that I really, truly know can hit superstar status, man. With just a little more coaching, a little bit more development, we'll be a great offensive line. Again, back to the commitments. Oh, man. We got Aiden Hall. Aiden Hall from Edna Carr High School. Big time commitment. Big time. We got Isaiah Washington. I believe he's an athlete, but I believe he's going to play safety for us. I believe he's going to play safety. I could be wrong. You guys let me know in the comments section. I could be wrong on that. Got Haven Feeney out of California, I believe. Big commitment. That let me know from that Corey Raymond is staying. Because that was his only deal breaker was Corey Raymond. Good job on Lane Kiffin with instilling that into the players, into the prospects, letting them know who he's keeping, being real with them, let them know, being real up front. You know what I'm saying? 5-star defensive tackle, Richard Anderson, out of Edna Carr again. We're going to hear Edna Carr a lot throughout the years, man. We're going to hear Edna Carr a lot. That's a big-time high school, big-time athletes that go to that school. Not just that school, all the schools around New Orleans, the Baton Rouge area. Louisiana, period, is a place with pure talent. Let me see. Read off a couple more names, man. I want to say I'm blanking on his name. I don't know why, but Ellis. He's a DB. That was a big time commitment. I know his last name is Ellis. I'm gonna look it up. It probably come to me later on. I'm corrected. Ellis, big time commit. Lane Kiffin is doing his thing, y'all. We gotta give him room. We gotta trust him. We gotta trust Lane. He's doing his thing, bro. And we got a couple flip targets as well. I'm gonna name a couple of them. There's only a couple, but these are the only ones that's needed. Coming from Ole Miss, we got J.C. Anderson, tight end, 6'6" tight end. I mentioned him a couple times, on other podcasts, on other posts of mine. Big flip commitment. He was committed to Ole Miss, of course. He wanted to come with Lane to LSU. Great pickup. We got the offensive lineman. Again, man, I want to say Ryan Merritt. He's offensive lineman. I believe he plays guard, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like he can play tackle. But, we'll see wherever Lane Kiffin puts him. I'm pretty sure it'll be perfect. You know what I'm saying? I know we went after Landon Duckworth. He stayed with South Carolina. You know, kudos to him. Good luck to him in his career. Hope everything works out. You know, that's just to name a few commits of this early signing day period. You know, we got at least, I want to say 14 to 15 commitments. You know, I just can't name them all. You guys can look that up. It's great, great commitment class. You know, and that's not even including the transfer portal. Once the transfer portal hit, it's over. It's over. Once the transfer portal hit, it is over. I truly believe Lane Kiffin is going to go after a big time quarterback, at least one or two running backs. You know, I love Harlem Berry. I love Caden Durham, but we need a veteran, bruising running back. We can find it out in the portal. Lane Kiffin has an eye for it. We need a couple offensive linemen out the portal. I'm just being real. Just keeping it funky. We need a couple offensive linemen out of the portal. You know, our young cats, you know, they did the best that they could, you know, with what they had. Eccles within, you know, it's just been a struggle. I want to say at the guard position and tackle, of course. You know, we've had some guys out of position. We have some guards playing tackle. You know, we had tackles playing guard. We had centers playing guard. DJ Chester, he come from guard to center every other game. You know, didn't really work out for us. You know, but we have some really young core pieces on the offensive line that needs to stay and get developed that can become superstars. You know, and I truly believe that we're gonna get the coaches in here with Lane Kiffin, which I'm gonna go over as well. He's gonna bring onto the staff. Is gonna make us elite. We just have to trust the process, guys. And you know, with going from the next subject, you know, we went over LSU making the Texas Bowl again, second year in a row after a disappointing season. You know, hopefully we finish strong, win this bowl game, and you know, it's on to the next. Had a strong early signing day. Strong early signing day. At least 2 5-stars. Deuce Gerald. Oh my God. How can I'm so sorry. Deuce Gerald. Signed. Big time defensive tackle out of Georgia, out of Atlanta, I believe. Big time commitment, man. Lane Kiffin made sure that we're going to have a pretty tough defensive line years to come. Like I said again, moving on, I want to go to the coaching staff because I don't think people really see what Lane Kiffin is doing with his offensive staff and defensive staff. And I'm going to go over the offensive staff first, you know what I'm saying? And I want to see what you guys think. You know, let me know in the comment section. Again, it's LSU Fan Dan 1 for TikTok. For Instagram, it's LSU_Fan Dan. And for YouTube, it's Go Blue Sports Podcast. It's spelled GEAUX Blue Sports Podcast. And let me know what you guys think, man. I really believe Lane Kiffin is getting right to work, man. He's not worried about all the outside noise. You know, he's gonna talk his stuff on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram. I've been seeing him post a lot of things, but it's been great things, man. And I see Ole Miss still a little bitter, you know what I'm saying? But we moved on from that, man. We moved on from that. You know, it's a good thing that the offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to assist them in their playoff run, but he's coming home right after. And that's just to name one. But I got my handy dandy again, and I wanted to just name a few people that Lane Kiffin is bringing with him on the offensive staff. You know, it's such a great thing what he's doing again. And again, you know, it's Charlie Weiss Jr., offensive coordinator. Been with Kiffin at Ole Miss. Great offensive coordinator, seasoned play caller. Great schemes. Great, you know what I'm saying, game plans for each opponent that they have. So I really love the addition of Charlie Weiss Jr. You know, we got Joe Cox. He's the co-offensive coordinator, tight ends coach. I believe that's going to help, you know, Trey Green. That's going to help our new additions at tight end. With JC. I mean, we got George McDonald. I'm sorry, Coach Hankton. But I figured he wasn't gonna get retained, and that's who Lane Kiffin brought. He's had success. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be the passing game coordinator as well. We got Sawyer Jordan, inside receivers coach. I never heard of that position, but I'm pretty sure he goes to work and he's gonna develop these receivers. So George McDonald, Sawyer Jordan at the receiver position, coaches. This is a new one. Eric Wolford, if I'm not butchering his last name, offensive line coach. That's going to be huge for us. Can you develop these guys? Can you get them ready to play in the SEC schedule week to week? Can we get push on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3? Can we get good push on first down run plays? Can we get good pass possession? Protection, on 1st and 10, on play action, rollouts. Can we block the stunt? That's going to be big. That's going to be the first thing I look for when we play next season. When the defense does the simple stunts, can we block it? Can we pick it up? Does our guard and tackle have the IQ to know? You see the guy swooping around, you pick him up as the guard, and the tackle takes the guy that goes outside. Will they be developed enough to protect? We'll see. That's important. But again, Eric Wolford, offensive line coach. They see what you got, coach. They see what you got. And we're going to go to the defensive side for a second. I don't think Frank Wilson is going to get retained. Sorry, guys. Little hiccups. I don't think Frank Wilson is going to get retained. But again, we'll see. He could still be on the staff, somewhere else. I know he wants to be an on-field coach. I haven't heard any news about the running backs coach. We'll see. But I want to go to the defensive side, man, because I had a couple posts, on Coach Blake Baker, of course. Such a great defensive coordinator, defensive coach at the linebackers position. And he really improved our defense within 2 years. And it's just amazing to see how much work he's put in with the linebackers, with the defense in general, because under Matt House, we were horrible, man, and embarrassing as a defense. I've said a couple times that Jaden Daniels deserved Blake Baker's defense. But again, I digress. But big news is, I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now, Blake Baker is remaining at LSU to be the defensive coordinator. He's taking his name out of consideration for the Tulane head coaching job. What he's basically had the job at Tulane as their next head coach. He basically had the job. He's taking his name out of consideration for the Memphis job to come back to this program as an LSU Tiger. I'm pretty sure he's going to get way better and bigger programs calling for his services, especially if he continues to improve our defense and win a national championship. He's going to get way better opportunities, guys. Way better opportunities. And I'm just so grateful for Uncle Baker that he came back and he's going to coach us and he's going to lead this defense to get better. He's going to get pieces in the transfer portal as well to help this defense out, because we're going to lose a lot of good pieces, off the defensive line. Of course, we have to hit the portal in the defensive line at D tackle, inside D tackle, DN. And some people may not like it, but I think we need to add a linebacker or two. I truly do. Linebackers that can maybe cover, can rush the quarterback. I just don't want Devon Keys in coverage at all. We need some guys that can be disciplined, rushing the quarterback, standing there rushing lanes, keeping the ends contained, making sure the quarterback doesn't break containment. We need those type of guys on this program because we're going to be big time. I mean, I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you Tiger fans are ready, but we really are going to be the next dynasty. And the reason why I know that is because Lane Kiffin is not out here showboating. He's not out here lollygagging, making all these appearances on TV and just out and about. He's actually working. He was supposed to be on college game day on the conference championship weekend, but he had to hold some important meetings. He had to make sure he retains his defensive coordinator in Blake Baker. Make sure he gives him a raise. Make sure he lets him know that, look, you're going to get way better opportunities staying here at this program. Stay here, develop these kids, help me out, help me bring at least 1 or 2 championships here before you become the next head coach at Penn State or somewhere else. Because wherever he goes, he's going to deserve it. But Blake Baker, big piece. Big piece. That's the main piece that he kept. And with him keeping Blake Baker, we keeping Corey Raymond, Kevin Peoples. Everybody knows Corey Raymond, DBU ambassador, DBU king, man. He knows what type of prospects he likes. He goes and gets them and develops them and makes them NFL caliber DBs. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Corey Raymond. I was hoping we keep you. I'm glad we're keeping you. Continue to bring DBU to the forefront as if these people already do not know. Corey Raymond does that. Kevin Peoples, again, defensive line, I believe he's the end coach. Great decision by Blake Baker, man, to stay. By us keeping those 2 coaches, Blake Baker, Corey Raymond, Kevin Peoples, that's a great core of defensive coordinators from this improving defense for the past 2 seasons. And, we got a newly addition, big name, big recruiter. That's important. Here at LSU again, big recruiter in Elijah Robinson. Probably a familiar name for a lot of people around the SEC, around college period. Elijah Robinson. I know he was at Syracuse last season as a D coordinator and got demoted. Didn't have a good year, at D coordinator at Syracuse. But his bread is buttered on the D-line. At Texas A&M, I know he had a few Louisiana prospects committed to Texas A&M before he decided to go coach at Syracuse. I believe that's the only reason why we got a couple of those guys to flip their commitment to LSU. And I'm talking about like the likes of Gabe Relaford, who was injured this year. I hope he recovering, getting better, getting stronger, because he's going to come back and have a heck of a season. But Elijah Robinson, man, a lot of people kind of look down on the hiring, but, I'm guessing, out of ignorance, you guys, a lot of you don't know the success he's had over the offensive line. Defensive line, sorry. Recruiting-wise and development-wise. He's had great success coaching the defensive line. Huge hire for Lane Kiffin. Again, got him on campus, kept him on campus, and hired him, man. Taking care of business. Lane Kiffin is putting together, really on paper, without any season being started, without any games being played, any production, any numbers, it's putting together an elite coaching staff on offense and defense. Offense and defense, elite coaching staff, which is great, man. It's just such a great feeling to know that we actually have something to look forward to for the next season instead of being in limbo with our last regime. You know what I'm saying? With the Brian Kelly era, it's kind of up in the air. We don't know how we're going to play. But with Lane Kiffin putting in the work that he's putting in this offseason, because technically it's the offseason for us, man. Technically. And I know we're not going to back down. We're going to play in the Texas Bowl and everything. We may win that, even as horrible as our offense is. Houston is no slack. So they're going to bring their air game. Could be an upset in Texas Bowl, but I'm not going to say that. I want us to win it, whichever game we play. So, guys, go out, do your thing. Do what you need to do to take that win, man. Do what you need to do. Digressing on the coaching staff, Lane Kiffin is cooking, you guys. Lane Kiffin is cooking big pot of gumbo in his coaching staff. He putting all kind of pieces together that he needs to develop these players that he's going to bring in, it's going to be dominance, people. I don't know if you guys realize it or not. It's going to be dominance. Now, I could be wrong. I could just be talking outside of my neck, you know. But look at what Lane Kiffin did at Ole Miss. No disrespect to Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss is a great program. They had a bunch of superstars on offense and defense. The first name I think about is Patrick Willis at linebacker when I think about Ole Miss. That guy was a monster. But these few years hasn't been what they would want. And it's not because Lane Kiffin couldn't get him there, but it's like the talent level can only go as high as, the certain teams they play at certain times. Like you playing in Alabama, a fully loaded Alabama team with the pieces that you have at Ole Miss, you hope to overcome, you hope to win, you get close, but it just won't get you over the hump. And the rosters that he has at Ole Miss, or had at Ole Miss, couldn't get him over the hump. We got to realize, people, last year was his best roster at Ole Miss through the transfer portal. Transfer portal king, as we named him last season for Ole Miss, getting the great pieces that he got with Jackson Dart and all those guys, all those pieces. Trey Harris at receiver. No, done a great job in the transfer portal, and I only know he's going to continue that at LSU. He's going to continue to build, not just for this season, for the next and the next and the next. We're going to be in the running for the next 5 years. And us as Tiger fans, we got to realize that, man. Again, we're the bad guys again. But winning cures all. Winning cures all. Winning will let them know, even though we're the bad guy, the truth is going to be in your face, man. We're going to go out. We're going to win these games how they should be won. We're going to leave no doubt. Kiffin, Charlie Weiss Jr. going to call heck of a game, offensive games, each and every week. Blake Baker's going to have this defense ready each and every week. We're going to get better at containing the quarterback, stopping the run, stopping the big play. I just see big things for this program in the future. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. Now, you either get on this train now or stay out. But it's coming. It's coming. Just stay patient, people. Stay patient. But again, just the way Lane Kiffin has been handling things, they talk so bad about him as if he's not a good recruiter. And he's showing you with this recruiting class here, with keeping those big time names, he's not coming to play. He told you at the podium when he was introduced as the LSU head coach. It's just different here, man. It's just different. The talent pool level, just in your state, is different. Most of the NFL are Louisiana prospects. Not going to say all LSU prospects, but are Louisiana prospects. Check the stats. Nick Saban told you that this weekend too. Most of the NFL, Louisiana guys. Proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. But again, man, I'm just so hype. Again, I'm gonna incorporate some basketball stuff too for us, man. But I'm waiting till after the transfer portal. That's when football season is officially over for me. It is in January. So in January, I'm gonna add some basketball. Now I'm gonna still keep up with the football news, of course. I'm gonna add some basketball. Women's basketball, baseball, of course. We're such a big deal in college baseball. So, again, guys, I'm going to continue to add more and more, continue to do more and more things here on this show. I'm going to incorporate calls, phone calls, interviews, things like that, man, as I go along and get better. So, again, I appreciate you guys being with me. You know what I'm saying? Again, LSU Fan Dan 1 on TikTok. Old Blue Sports Podcast on YouTube. GEAUX. Blue Sports Podcast, LSU Fan Dan on YouTube, LSU_Fan Dan on Instagram. Hit me up, people. Again, I love to interact. Let me know what you guys think. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What do you guys think about the early signing class? Let me know. Give me a topic that you guys want me to discuss in the next episode or on my Instagram post or TikTok post. Let me know what you think. No, I truly enjoy this. Like I said, I'm gonna get better and better, man. But I digress on that. I just enjoy doing this. I just see so much potential in what Lane Kiffin can do with this program. And outside looking in, even if I'm rooting for another program, you look at LSU, you just know Lane Kiffin is what they needed this whole time. He was at Ole Miss doing his thing, growing the program, growing the program. He decided to leave their program, of course, and come to a blue blood. A lot of people don't believe that for some reason. For some reason, they don't believe that LSU is a blue blood program.
Stupid.
We are, people. Got to get it through your head. Blue blood. I wanted to just really digress from the whole bad guy thing for a second because that's just what we are. No, that's just what we are as a program since Lane Kiffin is here. But I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that moniker off of Lane Kiffin because I truly believe that he's just being the best coach at a level that he knows that he needs to be at a program like LSU. Are we going to take no prisoners? No, we're not going to take any prisoners. We're going to beat the teams that we were supposed to beat them convincingly, and show everyone what we're building here is no fluke, no fluky wookie, as me and the homies say, and it's going to be a legitimate build. Get the best prospects out of high school, supplement through the portal. Simple game plan. Coaches are going to come and go, man. As success comes, we're going to lose big time assistants. We win a championship for the next 2 years. Blake Baker may get a call from a big time program. And who else? Off the staff. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna truly be something special, guys. So we're gonna sit back and watch. Relax, man. Trust Lane. That's the word of the week. Trust Lane. Lane is building something bigger. Like they say in the movie, this is bigger than Nino Brown. Lane Kiffin is building this program to where it should have been since Ed O. And it's at the top. 2009, we shouldn't have such a long layout since 2009, people. Let's just think about that. 2019, the best team to be assembled, the 2019 Tigers, their undefeated season. We beat big-time programs convincingly. We've beaten the Oklahomas, the Alabamas. Come on, guys. In the playoffs, no prisoners against Oklahoma. Georgia. Easy work, man. We got to get back to that. And we will. You know what I'm saying? But again, guys, let's just be patient, man. Be patient. Like I always say, I give us a mulligan year. Lane Kiffin's first year coaching fully. But we get what we need out this portal, people. We can be looking at big success, maybe a playoff appearance the first year. Let's not get it twisted, man. You get Lane Kiffin, a quarterback, an offensive line, and a couple weapons on the outside. We could be unstoppable. But that's neither here or there. It'll be here next season. Can't run from it. Like Coach O say, We coming and we ain't backing down. You know, a lot of people are asking for Coach O, Ed Orgeron. You know, he's trying to get that Tulane job, man. Now that Blake Baker took his name out of the running for the head coaching spot, you know, I hope Edo gets it. You know, if not, can still bring him on to the staff, you know, help her recruiting. Still can. It won't hurt. It can only add to the Infinity Stones, to the Gauntlet, to the Thanos, which is Lane Kiffin getting these Infinity Stones in his gauntlet. And you know, you can't help but to be excited, people. You can't help but to feel like a power surge with this program coming. So again, you know, I'm not gonna talk too repetitive, but just expect big things, bro, from the program. You know, the days of not knowing if we can get more than 200 yards a game, that's over with. Not knowing if we can score on the 1 yard line, on the goal line, is over. You know, big things ahead, y'all. Big things ahead. So until next time, people, you know, I'm not going to be too long. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You know, I want to give a couple shout outs right now to a couple guys. You know, you seen me on their podcast, their shows. Big shout out to Purple Mafia. On TikTok is Purple Mafia. I believe Instagram and YouTube is Purple Mafia as well. The Purple Mafia. Check him out, man. Great guy. He got a lot of great content on his channel. Again, the Gold Standard Podcast. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, the Gold Standard Podcast. Great content. Great videos, man. You can look into, get some knowledge, get some wisdom of the LSU culture, program, what Lane's doing, what, you know, other sports, LSU, what we're doing. Cover it all, man. We becoming the three ninjas. You know what I'm saying? Look out for us in the future episodes, things like that. Big shout out to you guys, man. Hit me up as soon as you can. And you know what I'm saying, y'all? Till next time, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Leave a comment, like I said. LSU Fan Dan 1 on TikTok. LSU_Fan Dan on Instagram. YouTube, Gold Blue Sports Podcast. LSU Fan Dan. GEAUX Sports Podcast. Not just GO. I can't look me up like that. But again, thank you guys, man. Appreciate the love. Continue to comment, like, and subscribe, man. Y'all been showing me a lot of love on social media. But until next time, man, peace.